Imagine waking up to a headline that flips an entire political race on its head. Colin Allred drops out of the Democratic primary for the Texas Senate seat and decides to run for the U.S. House instead. Now, you might think, why would someone walk away from a Senate run, one of the biggest stages in American politics, only to jump back into the House? Well, today we're diving into the full story behind that decision, the strategy, the pressure, the players, and what this dramatic move could mean for the 2026 elections. And trust me, the real reasons go deeper than a simple campaign announcement. Stick with me until the end, because this one move could reshape the political landscape in Texas. Colin Allred isn't just another politician shifting gears. His story is one of reinvention. Most people first recognized him as the NFL linebacker who worked his way into the league through sheer grit. After football, he didn't fade from the spotlight. He traded the stadium for the courtroom, becoming a civil rights lawyer and later serving in the Obama administration. Then his story took another leap. In 2018, he won a seat in Congress, representing Texas's 32nd district. And for several years, he built a reputation as a disciplined, pragmatic Democrat, someone who could navigate a complicated state and still deliver results. After a high-profile run for the Senate against Ted Cruz in 2024, Allred remained one of the biggest names in Texas Democratic politics. So when he announced earlier this year that he was running for the U.S. Senate again in 2026, it wasn't a surprise. Many Democrats saw him as one of their strongest options, someone who could mount a serious challenge in a typically red state. But everything changed on December 8, 2025. That morning, on the final day of candidate filing, Allred made a sudden shift. He withdrew from the Senate race entirely and instead announced he would run for the U.S. House in the newly drawn 33rd Congressional District. The political world immediately lit up with questions. Why walk away from a big Senate race? What happened behind the scenes? And what was so important about Texas' 33rd district that it pulled him away from a statewide campaign? According to Allred, the answer was simple but politically significant. He believed the Democratic Senate field was headed toward a messy, bruising primary. Jasmine Crockett was gearing up to enter the race, and other contenders were circling as well. Allred could see the writing on the wall. A long, expensive fight that might split the party right before a critical election year. In his own words, he didn't want Democrats entering 2026 divided and battling each other. Instead, he chose a different path, one he said would allow him to continue serving effectively while strengthening rather than fracturing the party. And that path leads directly to Texas's 33rd district. Now, the 33rd isn't just any district. After the most recent redistricting cycle, the map shifted in ways that made the race more competitive and more meaningful for Democrats. Allred framed his pivot as a return to the work he knows best: expanding transit, improving health care access, fighting for affordable housing, and bringing federal investment into communities that have historically been overlooked. But this decision also sets up a new political showdown. Allred is now challenging Julie Johnson, the very person who succeeded him in Congress. That makes this not just a race for a seat, but a race for leadership, for direction, and for influence within the party. And while the Senate race moves on without him, Allred's exit dramatically changes its landscape. Now, candidates like Jasmine Crockett and others will battle for the Democratic nomination without one of their most well-known competitors in the race. The question becomes, will Allred's departure clear the path for a frontrunner, or will it open the door to an even more unpredictable primary? In politics, timing is everything, and Allred's timing withdrawing on the final filing day tells us this wasn't a decision made lightly. It was a strategic calculation shaped by party unity, election math, and the shifting political geography of Texas. And now, all eyes turn to two races: the Senate race he left behind, and the House race he's stepping into. Colin Allred's pivot is more than just a change in direction, it's a reminder of how quickly political strategies can evolve. Whether this move sets him up for a stronger position in Congress or closes the door on future statewide ambitions, only time will tell. But one thing's for certain: this reshapes the political story of Texas heading into 2026. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the political curve, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.